Good afternoon, all. Am I audible? You can chat it. Whenever I ask you a question, you can chat in the chat box saying yes or no. So that, okay, okay. Fine. We'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes, then we'll start our session. Is this screen visible for all of you? Okay. Just go through the screen. What is that? Just an English words. That's all, nothing else. You just go through it. We'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes, then we'll start our session. Okay, quickly there, it is rising. Don't mark anything on the slide. Kindly switch off the video and audio. Who's this? You're not supposed to mark anything. Okay, we'll start. Yeah. Somebody quickly, layered architecture, layered task. Why it is required? It is required for two reasons. One is for time saving. Another one is your investment on some doing some other task. So you'll be not involved in all the particular task. Your job is to do it whenever the uh, thing is coming into your particular code. So it is as good as one simple example has been given over here. See, I'll stop the chat if you are not going to stop writing on the screen. I know you are very smart. If you write on the screen, I'll stop. See, some freedom has been given, means it should not be misused. Let me clarify you. Let me tell you once again. Kindly switch off the video and your microphone at your end. Otherwise, whatever I speak will not be will not be audible to you. Okay, simple example has been given with respect to your layer task. The example is how you can send a letter from one particular end to another end. There is a sender, there is a receiver. So sender is the one who will be sending the messages, receiver is the one who will be receiving the messages. So this is a typical example of how you send a letter. What are all the steps it will be it will be taken care? The first thing is you'll be writing a letter and you'll be dropping it to the nearest post box wherever it is available. That is nothing but your mailbox here. So once it is done, the next thing is it will be taken to from the mailbox. It will be transferred to the nearest or main post office. From there, the letter will be delivered to the particular place, whichever the thing that you are, whichever the address that you have mentioned over there. From there, through bus or through train or through any other transportation medium, that is nothing but your parcel will be carried out. So it will be transferred to the other destination area. From there, the reverse process. The reverse process in the sense, first the letter will be delivered to the from the carrier to the nearest or main post office. From the main post office, it will be sorting out which particular address it is there in that particular geographical area. So once it is picked, it will be just transferred to that particular area's mailbox. Once it is entered to the mailbox, it will be just sending it to the receiver end. This is how it will be going with respect to your normal day-to-day letter transmitting from one end to receiving at the other end. So the same thing has been applied for your network also. Same thing has been applied for your network. This is nothing but one particular model has been designed how the layered architecture should be available. So through that particular model only, many network models exist today. So the name of the model is OSI. OSI refers to Open System Interconnection Model. Open System Interconnection Model, OSI. But this has been started under one particular guidance or under one particular organization called as International Standard Organization, that is ISO. So it has, and the ISO has been established in 1947, and your particular open system interconnection was first introduced in the late 1970s. That is after 1975, before 1980 got evolved. So the topics to be discussed under this particular OSI model is layered architecture. How many layers are there? What are all its typical architecture? How it looks like? Everything. The next thing is peer-to-peer process. Peer-to-peer process is nothing but one-to-one communication. One end system to another end system, I'll be communicating. How it will be done, under which layer it is possible, everything we'll just see it. Next one is encapsulation. I cannot send the data directly as it is. What I'll do is, I'll just take the data along with the data where that particular layer, in which particular layer I'm just belonging to, that information also I'll just encapsulate and I'll just send it to the other end. We'll move on to the next one. So as I said, ISO is the organization, OSI is the model. So typically with respect to OSI reference model, that is what I am just saying it, because it is the reference given. It is not that always you need to use the same layered architecture. You can design according to you, but these are all the main layers that it will be identified. So first one, from the top, we'll be just assuming it. Why the numbering has not been provided from application layer as 1, why it has been provided from 7, because it is at the topmost layer. Application layer is nothing but what you are viewing right now. Whatever is appearing on your screen is nothing but application layer delivery itself. This application layer, what it will be doing, it may capture some of the particular URLs or a particular application name, whatever it may be. So that will be converted to a machine understandable language. Your DNS, that is domain name system, you'll be typing it as google.com. The google.com is not understood by your particular any particular system. So what it understands, it has its own addressing format. To that particular addressing format, we'll call it as network addresses. So in that particular fashion, it is all dependent on the numbers. Why we don't depend on the numbers, why we are familiar with respect to the names, is very simple. It is hard to identify a person with respect to the USN when compared to your name. So that's the simple funda that we are using. But unfortunately, human beings are very much they can remember any person with the name rather than the number, but machine can understand only the number numeric format. So just for that reason, we require this layer called as presentation. Okay, you have typed a URL. That URL need to be transmitted or need to give the data to the other particular end. For that reason, presentation layer plays a vital role. Okay, you have typed a name, google.com. That google.com, how to represent it in a different manner, that's what it will be just doing it. Next one is your session layer. Session layer, what its job? Its job is to just open a session or close a session. Open the door, close the door. Which door should be open, which door should be closed, depending on the addresses. One more addressing format comes into picture over here. That is nothing but here, nothing but the um, port addresses. Port addresses is nothing but each particular door will be having one number, whether it is an ingoing or outgoing. So ingoing is nothing but incoming packets. That is, sorry, not ingoing, incoming. Whether it is incoming or outgoing. Incoming is nothing but which is coming to that particular area. Or outgoing is nothing but which you are sending it, whether you are receiving or sending. Depending on that, one particular door should be opened. That will be done by your session layer. Once it is done, the next one is your transport layer. So transport layer is nothing but, as the name itself suggests, that it is a transportation department. In the transportation, there are so many particular methods to means of method to transport from one particular end to another end. So here in your networking, two concepts comes into picture. One is your wireless and another one is wired. So with respect to these two concepts, they have designed several protocols, that is several rules. So with respect to that, two particular protocols are very familiar to understand with respect to the transport mode, like your bus, train, aeroplane, helicopter, like that. This is nothing but your transportation department. So in that, TCP bar UDP. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, whereas UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. Normally, with respect to your TCP, you will be always having wired or a acknowledgement way of communication. That means if I say something, you will respond to it. If I ask you a question, you'll respond to it. That is nothing but your acknowledgement based communication. That will be happening with respect to your TCP. Whereas UDP, I'll just ask the question right now, whatever the session that we are taking it now, same thing. Whatever I ask, you start listening to it. That means no acknowledgement. So whatever I speak, it will be just go on speaking, you go on listening. So that is how it will be just decided. So this is normally UDP will be normally based on your wireless communication, where the acknowledgement is not available to the extent. Whereas the next layer is nothing but your third layer, layer three, that is network layer. So network layer is used for communication purposes as well as routing purposes. Mainly it is designed for the routing purposes. A route is nothing but route map. A table will be available from where the data has been attached or from where the data is coming to which particular node I need to transmit the data. Whether my nearest node is a particular hub or a switch or a router or exactly the um, end device itself. So that's how it will be just routing that, and depending on that, and it will be having its own particular intelligent to do that particular task. One routing table will be there. Depending on the routing table, it will address to which one it need to go. And this will be dealing with respect to your logical addressing. Logical addressing is nothing but uh, logical addressing is nothing but it is not the exact address of the person. It is a one more address given for that person. That particular address can be changed. Example is your USN. Now you are a student of JNNC, so that's why you have given one particular USN. That is the identification we'll be using it. So if you go to some other particular college for your higher studies, say for example MS or MTech, then if you choose some other college, then your USN will be changed. So this is nothing but your addressing. So that addressing part will be taken care with respect to your networking part. That is logical addressing, we'll say it. Next one is data link layer. The data link layer mainly deals with two things. One is error control and the other one is flow control. Error control in the sense whether the integrity of the particular packet or the data, integrity of the data, that's what we can say it. So integrity of the data is nothing but whatever the data that I'm sending it, whether it has been reached to the destination properly with the same particular data, whatever I have sent it, or any changes is there, that will be checked with respect to your data link layer. It will be done with respect to two different concepts. One is called as CRC, that is cyclic redundancy check. Another one is called as checksum. This is how it will be validated. Once this is done, uh, the next step is flow control. Flow control, why it is necessary? For synchronization purpose. Well, I am sending hi as a message. If H receives at the last and I receives at the first, there should be a mismatch. IH is not the word that I have sent. HI is the word that I have sent. So just for this particular synchronization purpose, followed by whatever I have sent, whether it is available or whether it is transmitted as I have sent, or it has been transmitted in its own particular type of transmission mode. So that's what it will be checking, and it will be just sending it. For that, flow control plays a vital role. The next one is physical layer. Physical layer, as the name itself suggests, that it will be dealing with respect to your system where the data can be viewed in the machine level instruction, like 0 or 1. So what it will be doing is it will be just taking the data from the above layer, that is data link layer. It will be just arranging it in terms of bits. That's how your system can understand it, the machine can understand it. So it will be taken it in that particular manner, and it will be just transmitted to the transmission medium. So in the next layer, we'll come to know how this particular thing goes. Is it clear, all of you? Any doubt? Still, I'm seeing you're just giving your attendance. Okay. Anything? Any question till now? You can answer yes or no in the chat box. No question. Can we go ahead? The no is for everything has been understood, or I need to change certain things. Yes, sir. No questions. Okay, fine. That's good. Okay. We'll move on to the next slide. Next slide, it speaks more about the interaction, how this particular layered architecture is designed, what is the significance of it, why it is doing, what it is doing, everything. I've explained in brief what the each layer is meant for. So now our job is meant for. Then now we have a particular model here. Uh, one is device A, another one is device B. And there are two other nodes apart from this particular device. We'll come back to this, why it is needed, what is the responsibility of it. We'll come back to it definitely. Before that, we'll say that device A is the sender, or the client will say it in other terms. Device B is the receiver or the server, we'll say it. Why it is called as device A as client? It is very simple. It is in the transmission mode. It is transmitting the data. So it is in the asking mode. This is what I want. It is the initial part of the communication will be coming from the device A. So that's why I just pointed out device A is my initial node or the client node. Any node which will be available, which will be responsible for transmitting the data, first he will be called as client. The other person who fulfills the request, whatever has been sent from the other end, is nothing but the server. So this is how it will be undertaken, these terms, with respect to your networking concept. Same thing will adapt it using those words in our particular discussion also. So, okay, first thing is I told that device A is a client, device B is a server. Fine, accepted. So with respect to device A, these layers, whatever you are seeing it, these things will not be visible to anybody. This is just for our understanding. We have written these particular type of layers. Okay. Seventh layer, that is how it will be flowing, because where we are viewing it, depending on the view only, we are sending the request. So based on that, application layer is the first one layer that it will be available. There is an always interface between your presentation and application. Presentation is the next immediate layer below the application layer. So there will be an interface, it will be such. There are two particular connections for each of the layer, as you can see it. One is for incoming, another one is for outgoing. So depending on that, you will be just connected to the upper layer or the bottom layer. So here application layer is the starting one. So it will start from here. It will enter to the presentation. Presentation is nothing but how the system or how the particular device can understand to that particular extent, the address will be translated. That's it. Once it is done, the next step is session layer. Session, okay, it is an input. This is what the protocol or the layer that or the architecture that I am having. Depending on that, it will be having the doors. The door will be opened. It will enter to the transportation layer. In the transportation layer, I'll just come to know whether it is a TCP or a UDP packet or a data. Depending on that particular transport, I'll just send it to the network. If it is a wireless, I'll not wait for any acknowledgement. If it is a wired, I'll wait for an acknowledgement. Once the acknowledgement is reached or received at the sender end, or at the client end, then I'll transfer the next. I'll go move on to the transmitting the data to the next layer. Otherwise, I'll keep quiet. Whereas with respect to your UDP, we will not wait. We'll just convert. We'll just move on to the next layer, that is network layer. In the network layer, it will just see the route, which is the best route for us. It will just give that particular thing. Once it is, once the route is available, it will be transmitting the data to the data link layer. In the data link layer, error control will be available, followed by flow control will be there. Both will be considered. Once it is done, it will be just checking for the. It will be just transmitted to the physical layer. From the physical layer, there will be one particular transmission medium, either an Ethernet cable, or else it can be a air type of transmission medium. So anything, it can be air in the sense wireless, wired in the sense Ethernet cable, LAN cable. That's what it means. So depending on that, it will be just checking for it and it will be transmitting. Now coming back to this, directly we can suppose a question may arise in anybody's mind. Directly we can connect to device A to device B. Why these two intermediate nodes is coming? What is this? They have not named it properly. Well, what is this particular intermediate node? Is it a router that I'm connecting to, or else a particular hub or switch? Which is that? It can be anything. Intermediate nodes, it is not necessary that you need to have a particular access point or a router or hub or switch. Anything it can be. The thing is, we cannot transmit the data to a far distance. Always, if I start to transmit, now only you might have experience from morning class. This is the last class probably for today. Your data rate or your particular bandwidth has already been reduced. From your data pack to 1.5 GB, it may have reduced to 50% of it may have been used. That is almost 750 MB has been used for this. Now your particular, whatever the data that you are receiving may be having a lower quality when compared to the morning first class. So this is how it will be going. In the same way, if you are connecting to a remote machine, if the distance is far, the whatever the flow of the data is there, it will be not it it will break down in between. There may be a chance. So just to avoid it, what we'll be doing is we'll connect these particular intermediate nodes. The intermediate nodes will provide a extra benefit for transmitting the data. Okay, in a transmission medium like air or a particular any other particular medium, if you are taking it, fine. Okay, you only think about it. You are standing in the third floor and you want to transmit a message who is uh, at the ground floor. So if you shout, how much the person can hear you? One, two, or three words. What about the rest? Instead of it, if you use a microphone or a headphone where the speaker is available, and if you just speak it, all the packets will be transmitted. So I require an external help to transmit it. The same thing will be done over here also with respect to this intermediate node. Any question? Okay. So that's the advantage of using your intermediate nodes. So intermediate nodes is not the devices, end devices that we are having it. It is basically a router or a switch or a hub. If you have a router or a switch, we will be having only two layers, that is physical as well as data link layer. Whereas if you have a router, then you will be having network layer also. The last layer of your intermediate node with respect to router is network layer. Whereas with respect to your switch or hub is data link layer is the last layer. So data link and physical will be available. Physical layer is available in any of the end devices. Suppose my end device is a printer. It also has its physical layer. It also has data link layer where the data need to be transmitted. Then it will be giving the form in terms of itself. Understanding it? So this is how, hello? You want me to repeat it? Vivek, hello. I'm not getting it. I need to repeat the statements, or can I go forward? Go to the next one. Next one. Okay, fine. Okay, once you have finished your job with respect to the intermediate layer, the next job is to get the uh, targeted device. Targeted device is nothing but your device B. Once you are at the device B, sorry, excuse. Once you are at the device node, once you are at the device B, at that particular point of time, you're receiving, you're at the receiving end. So it flows in the reverse order. That means first is the physical layer. It will get that particular data. So it will be whatever the packets that has been encapsulated, that is the information that has been encapsulated, it will be separated. It will be just thrown to the next layer. Data link layer, it will check for the integrity. Once it is done, it will check, it will just send it to the network layer. Once it reaches to the network layer, it will be just checking for, okay, this is not, this is where it has been come from. So what this particular address is all about, everything, it will be checked, and it will be just transmitting to the transport layer. It will identify the particular transport mode that has been traveled. So that is either a TCP or a UDP. Depending on that, the session will be opening that particular part. It will be reaching to the presentation layer. Now, from your particular networking, that is numerical addresses, to the DNS, it will be just transmitting, and it will be displaying it to the application layer. You can view that particular application anytime. That's how it will be going. We'll just move on to the next slide. Ah. Okay. See, there is a delay. This is what I was talking about. So whatever the action that I'm doing, if it reflects immediately, then okay. If it is taking some time, means there is some particular delay in it. So this is also one of the main characteristic in the networking. So when you have an exchange